So here we have our steak sandwich and steak for our stuffed steak. We're moving from a 4 to a 6 ounce, so we're gaining some weight obviously, and we're going to go over actually some pounding procedures and exactly what we're looking for use in the steak sandwich and the stuffed steak. We will be increasing our roll length from a 5 to a 6 inch, so we're going to kind of split the difference between the two rolls. So this is basically a recommendation on what I believe should make your life a little bit easier. Especially for those that aren't pounding this out entirely for the stuffed steak. So I'm going to recommend we have a little piece of wax paper, parchment paper. We're going to take our steak. Obviously we need a little bit of plastic wrap. So cover in plastic wrap. You can obviously do these in bulk, lay them all out and whatnot. You could even pound and transfer to this. You'll see why, or the purpose behind this, when we get a little closer here towards the end. So for steak sandwich, all general purpose, everything's going to be pounded no matter what it is. But what we're going to look for is about twice its area, right? So we're going to take this and double the size of it. So approximately double the size. What we're looking to do is expedite the process when we go from this to a stuffed steak. Make sure we have even cooking, doneness, all those kind of things. Increase the area for bun coverage, that kind of stuff. So basically every steak sandwich will be pounded at this point, right? And then you can either do this in the next step in advance or as you need, which I believe a lot of people are doing now for stuffed steak, depending on movement and whatnot. So now, the idea is you have these already pounded. They're on parchment, right? Layered in your pan or whatever you decide to keep them in. And then you're going to pull it out, hypothetically, if you're doing this order. And now you just have to pound this additional or further. And I'm going to say you're going to take this and you're going to do it about another almost double. Like this is pretty substantial from the original piece to what we're going to do here. So from the original product, this is about what we started with. That's what we started with. This is what stuffed steak would be. Sliced steak sandwich would be a little bit less, a little bit thicker, obviously. So the whole purpose, this is where this really comes into play, whether it be for the steak sandwich or for this. So when you're loading the grill, the nice thing about this is you can grab one because it's so thin, they have a tendency to rip and tear. But now you can actually take it. So now you have an easier way to transport it from point A to point B. And again, just a really good recommendation. You can determine based off your sales, your business, your volume, those sort of things, what works best for you. So this is the same product that we put on the flat top of the grill earlier. This one did shrink up quite a bit, which is the sole purpose of having to pound this to the extent that we're asking it to be done is because of the shrink, specifically on the stuffed steak, because you need that area to be able to wrap and get a full wrap, and that way it doesn't, ends don't fly out and start flying away kind of thing. So that's the entire purpose. So we're gonna do for dessert, we're gonna do a candy cane cheesecake. Kind of fits the holiday theme, like over the Christmas, that kind of thing. So it's basically our standard cheesecake recipe with the addition of chopped candy cane, and then we have a chocolate cookie crumb. This will take place of our normal graham cracker. We'll actually hit it with a little bit of garnish of this, obviously whipped cream, because who doesn't like whipped cream? So I'm going to start like we normally do. As long as I can fit everything in the mixer. We'll see how this goes. So again, what's that word? Reiterate?
The secret word is reiterate.
Yeah, that's the word. This is our basic, standardized, plain cheesecake recipe with the addition of those. So it should be very familiar, very easy. We're gonna let this come together a little bit to the point where it's almost done. So probably 80–90% done. And then we're gonna incorporate these just enough, just enough to get them mixed in well. So again, to reiterate, basic cheesecake recipe. Once we get towards the end, there is no super time frame or a specific time frame, just definitely towards the end of the whipping process. Gonna add your candy cane. Start off slow. Make sure it gets fully incorporated. At some point, I would suggest stopping and just making sure it gets fully, it's not settled on the bottom. You'll see it turns into a nice pinkish color, candy cane color. And you'll see little specks and flakes of red. And it tastes like candy cane. So, to reiterate, so to assemble the candy cane cheesecake, again the crushed chocolate cookie instead of the graham cracker. Proceed as normal on the base. Try to give a nice little contrast. Basically that first line. You can see it makes some nice little cool streaks. More whipped cream. A little more of those. That's it. Festive. Festivus for the rest of us. So next up, we're going to talk about and make our meatloaf smash burger. So the whole idea, or whole concept behind this is to try to find another outlet, another usage for our meatloaf that we're using for the bowls. So we're going to start off with the exact same product. So 5-pound chub of meatloaf with the addition of 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs. Then we're going to take from that point and we're actually going to portion into 3-ounce scoops. If you have a green handled scoop, I'll actually include the size in the directions. This gives you almost exactly 3 ounces. If not, I highly recommend you purchase one off Amazon, your local restaurant store. Weight of 3 ounces. That's right on the money. So this will consist of 2 of these for a total of 6 ounces. So these can be used fresh, right? So at this point, 3-day shelf life from this point forward, fresh. Or you can take these and freeze these for up to 10 days. That does require obviously some thawing time, so you got to plan a little bit ahead. It takes approximately 4 to 5 hours to thaw. So if if you're ahead of the game, you pull in the morning, you should be ready and good to go by lunchish. So whatever honestly works best for you. I think you get a better outcome, better product working from fresh. That also being said, if you are heading towards expiration date, especially after freezing, these can be reportioned to 1 ounces and used in the meatloaf bowl, since it's the exact same product. And then go over the components. So we'll start with the brioche roll. We have our meatloaf, pepper jack cheese, 1 slice per portion, 1 ball. We have a bourbon mayonnaise. Very simple. We're not going to show making this because it's literally mayonnaise with our handy dandy bourbon sauce. A bacon jam, which we are making. You can see the video from earlier. It does have a tendency to tighten up. If you run into any issues because you're refrigerating or whatnot, you may have to flash it on the grill just for 5 seconds, just enough to get it pliable and workable. And then we have fried onions too, about 2 ounces. We're not going to show this because we've probably done it enough, but about 1.5 minutes in the fryer. These are bulked, obviously there's more than 2 ounces there, but again, trying to reiterate that you can do this in bulk based off of volume if you're selling a lot of them, that kind of thing. All right, so we're gonna make the smash burger here, meatloaf smash. It's a very, very quick process. I'm gonna say cooking happens even, well, probably about the same as our current burger. So about 2 to 3 minutes tops. You know, we're gonna temp it out 155, sorry, to make sure we're completely done. So let's get to it. A little bit of prep on the grill. Same as before, you can keep these on parchment. I'll show you this one here. But you know, you don't have to, just for ease of transportation. But basically, 2 balls, 2 portions on the flat top. And then I am going to use a little bit of parchment paper. Keep them sticking with real weight. I don't know if you can see this, but as the name implies, smash, like Hulk. If you think it's a little bit easier not using parchment, whatever gives you the best outcome. We just want them very, very thin. So we'll leave these go about halfway done. We're going to flip them, get a nice caramelization on the other side, cheese them, and then we'll build out the sandwich. Okay, so we flipped our meatloaf smash, and now we're just going to cheese it like cheese melt. And again, to reiterate what we said about the jam before, we're pretty good right now. But if it does, you know, is a little tight, you can just slam it on the grill and work it for a second. You can see how kind of non-viscous it is. Transfer to the top button. So that's the gist of the grill portion of it. Then from here, sort of hit the base of it, about an ounce and a half of the bourbon mayo. Transfer. Very hot. I did forget to mention, we do want to toast the roll. About 2 ounces of the onion. Obviously pick. And transfer to plate. Serve with your side of choice. That's it.